are going to attract a lot of different people, right? Our open houses are great places to both find and attract people because they have to do something to get to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're actually having to go through a door and go into a house. Now, if you're like a shy person and you're real actively looking to go for a house and you meet that person, it takes a lot of effort to go in there. So they're a little bit more qualified. Somebody who is going to go to a seminar of some sort, signing up, going there, jumping through a hoop to get to that seminar, make that time. They may be a little bit more interested. Does that make sense? So where the type of buyers that you're looking for, whether it's a personality trait or whether it's a certain demographic or like maybe it's an area. Have an idea of what you're looking for, and maybe what you want to do is target that. If you don't want to work condos, or maybe you're not working open houses at condos. Maybe what you're doing is trying to find more open houses. And maybe you like, I don't like the high luxury end because I don't know it very well, or they don't turn over as much, right? So then maybe you're not looking at certain areas. Does that make sense? So, you know, when you're looking for buyers, know what you're looking for and see where you can go out and seek and find them, right? Do you blast like if I had a condo or something like that and I just said listed, right? What could I do there? What could if you're farming a condo and you're looking for first-time home buyers, maybe a high rental condo. Right, and then you have a townhouse, you can say, hey, just listed for a townhouse, or great for first-time home buyers, right? You're not going to send that $5 million home to those condos, that postcard. So target marketing with the stuff that to attract the type of buyers you're looking for, or also where you're circle prospecting, or right, just have an idea of what you're looking for and who's going to be most interested. Right? When you are hosting a certain open house, right? Are you going to talk to everyone? Yeah, you can talk to everyone, right? But you know, most of the time when you're hosting an open house, understand that the people who are going to walk through that open house cannot afford that home. Have you ever have you hosted open houses here? One.
I also joined in January, and I haven't been anywhere.
Normally, when you give them a price point, it's if they're holding back offers, they go, oh, that's a great price point, or they go, oh wow, that's too high, that's outside my budget. You'll hear those things, right? And so right off the bat, what should you be prepared for? So remember, now we're at an open house or we're somewhere, and buyers are coming. So the next part of it is being prepared for them.
So know the area first of all, and then ask the question, what is it that you're looking for? Or is it this area or something smaller? I understand, you know. And then find out if possible.
Right.
Or is it if they look for somebody else, and say, I'm happy to meet, discuss, show you what your options are.
So when this is what the reason with Ignite, one of the things, the best places to find buyers are open house in general. Okay, you can find buyers everywhere, right? But in general, open houses, because we've talked about that they're doing stuff right now. And when you're holding an open house, we talk about being prepared, as you were saying, right? Being able to make sure that you have the appropriate information for buyers that potentially could buy this house, and probably buyers who can't afford this home, right? Having that information, because that's going to make you look professional, right? You're going to add value. And we talk about marketing, right, for the open houses. So when if you're circle prospecting, if you're sending out flyers and doing all that stuff, target marketing the people. Like if you have, if we're doing a townhouse, you definitely want to make sure that that you're sending that information out to maybe potentially new home buyers or move up buyers.
When you say circle prospecting,
it means like taking like a property and prospecting around that area. So if I have a house for sale, I'll door knock 100 homes around that
What
area.
about expired listings? What's your, I hear different agencies.
Yeah, so the expired, my thing is this. If you want to target expired listings, you can circle prospect. You can't go after them specifically. There's nobody who said, there's no reason why, for me, and I'm being taped here, so you can't, we can't go after expired listings, but it doesn't mean that you can't door knock if the
Oh,
10 doors, like, hit a whole street. And if that expired listing is on that street and you're marketing there and it draws interest, you're just marketing. Or you
It's
just,
different than,
that's
or
different.
if you're knocking on that one door.
Right, knocking on
but
that one
would
door.
Yeah,
be-
and it's the same thing if it's still listed with that brokerage, like you can still circle knock around?
And you can circle prospect anything to promote your own listing.
Or what if you're just not promoting any particular listing, but you're
You can-
door knocking? Door knocking.
You can just do, yeah, you can promote your own services to any community.
Okay. Even
As
if
well.
there's, yeah. if there's-
Right,
you
and
just
then
don't
I would,
knock on their door.
and what I would say is speak to your broker of record with that. But I'm saying from a marketing and prospecting, to general
There's really
public,
no reason why
you
you
can't
can't do that.
you can't target an expired itself, but you can target a neighborhood,
Right. You
That
can,
makes
you
sense.
can go around it.
okay? Like I said, you can target a neighborhood,
Yeah.
you can't go after a expired in itself. Okay, and connecting with the visitors and asking for the contact information. Obviously, contact info is, we already said that follow-up is where everything's at, right? So if follow-up is where everything at, you need to have something to follow up. Some people just have emails, right? We'll just put emails. In an open house, I actually go in there, really good script is the seller has asked me to have all the buyers sign in so they know how many people have come through.
Yeah, so
Right.
this was an open house I did for somebody
Yeah.
else. I had 2 days, and so I didn't have that much time.
Right.
And the good thing was that I had lived on that street, so that was very helpful, because I know
you
the
lived.
area
Yeah,
really well.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So you had the,
But so it was weird for me. This was my first time, right?
Mhm.
And I thought, how much can I push the people to sign in? What do I say?
so, there's a lot of different things that you can say, and different realtors have different perspective on this thing, right? Some realtors, I've been, when I was shadowing a lot of realtors, some people just say, whoever wants to sign in will sign in, right? I always get everybody to sign in, because I actually do want to know how many people to come through. And so I'll say something like this, Claudia, if you wouldn't mind just signing in, our sellers have asked us to have all our buyers, so we know how many people. If you can now point to it, can you please put your name, number, and the name of your agent if you have one? I'll fill that in. Those are the most 3 important.
So do you do anything with that list?
I do, absolutely, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you
So-
even is very specifically, you say.
I say that specifically, because if I don't say that specifically, because I'm giving them
They
direction,
just,
they just might put a name,
I know,
they
yeah,
just
so I
put an
noticed
email.
that.
So I actually do that, I'll do that, and right? Or some will have an
sorry,
email.
what do you say again? Could you?
So,
The buyer's
something-
asking
so I have an introduction, so, there's always an introduction saying, oh, how'd you find our open house signs? Oh, fantastic, it's working, something like that, right? Listen, we have all our information in the kitchen, and you wouldn't mind just signing in. The sellers have asked us to have all our buyers sign in, so we know how many people have come through. And then, as you're signing in, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the house, but can I just have your name, number, and name, phone number, and the name of the agent if you have one. And if you wish, you can put in also an email, okay? And I would say about 70-80% of the time, I have no pushback. And every once in a while, I would say,
But do you push them? You
no,
push?
no, I do ask, and then I just say, someone say, well, why do I want to give that number? I say, I totally understand, for the security of the home, the sellers want to know who came through the home. If you had your home sold, isn't that what you want?
You sometimes ask that?
Yeah, I just throw it back at them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you ask them 2 to 3 times just to sign in, they will sign in.
Mhm.
2 to 3 times.
Do you find that is
Right.
too pushy?
No. No, I don't,
Mhm.
right? Because I want that contact info,
Mhm.
right? Now, if you think that's too pushy up front, what you can do is try, depending on how busy your open houses are, you can ask them after the fact. And here's the thing, they're gonna wanna sign in. When I do my open houses and I have the lead come in, they want to sign in eventually.
Mhm.
The reason why is because if I'm able to speak to them, right? I'm gonna start giving them, I'm gonna have create a dialogue and bring them value.
Mhm.
So what, if I said to you, hey, is there a store or a store that you guys like to shop at? So, out of curiosity? Anything in particular? A hobby, something that you guys like?
Hobby,
I like tennis.
Huh?
swim.
You like swimming,
Mhm.
right? And is there a specific club that you had to pay money to swim?
Mhm.
Right? If that swim club had a special at 90% sale off, right?
Mhm.
Do they have to ask you to sign in, or are you gonna go there and sign up for it?
Yeah, yeah, you go inside.
Right? It's not like, oh, it's so much value that you feel compelled to do it.
Mhm. And because it's coming through the swim club or
Yeah. So-
whatever tennis.
And or like, is there a certain type of clothing? If they have a sale,
Mhm.
right? 10% might not accept you. If I said 70% or 80% off,
Mhm.
or your favorite clothing line, favorite food, favorite restaurant, you'd be there. You might not even be hungry, right? But you're gonna be there because they offer so much value. I want you to have the same mentality when offering your own services as well.
Mhm.
It's like, you guys are saying, I'm being pushy, right? But watch this, if I said to you, Pam, hey Pam, are you looking for a home? How long have you been looking for a home for? Just role play with me for a bit.
2 years.
2 years, wow, that's quite a long time. Is there any particular reason why you haven't bought a home in the last couple of years?
Does anybody have one?
Huh? Oh, because you have one. Okay, so are you just kind of looking for what's going on within the area?
Yeah.
Okay, are you looking to upsize or downsize? Or just decorating ideas?
Yeah, just decorating.
Okay, so right now, so for me, that's not a qualified person to say, okay, well, you're looking for decorating ideas. You know, one of the things that we do offer is we actually have a lot of really good contractors, home decorators on our team. Are those some of the resources that you would like to know more about?
Right.
Yeah? Listen, if you wouldn't mind signing in and around here, what we can do is we can send you a list of our top, of some of our affiliates that deal with home decorating and home design. As being in real estate,
Mhm.
right, we have those connections.
Right,
Would you mind signing in
sure.
to get that information, right?
He's so good, isn't he?
So, sorry, but do you see I'm offering a value
Yeah,
now?
right.
Don't you feel compelled? Like, hey, listen, can I get a list of those things? Yeah, just
They
sign in and I'll
almost
So
email
Yeah,
you.
how else do you follow, like, so after they sign in, how do you follow up with them? Because I've never been followed up with anyone.
Fantastic. Well, watch this. So here's the thing. So right now you have to have some information in order to follow up. Now your lead can your what we need to do is cultivate that lead, that follow up, right? And so hold on. But we also want to be able to find the motivated. So it's not just being able to follow up with anybody, but find the motivated. So I'm gonna watch this video real quick. I don't know what the speaker is.
You have to ask Andy.
Have you been here the last couple sessions?
No, my mother-in-law passed away
Oh,
3 days ago.
Is Andy around? I don't know how you
That's why I've been away.
When?
Where is it?
Thursday night.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Andy,
because my mother-in-law passed away
Thursday night.
maybe smoking,
Tuesday.
maybe bathroom.
Okay, is there a way to get
Thursday morning, yeah.
volume?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It is, was she sick?
Where's it
Yeah.
playing from?
And it's all the way up.
Is this a scheduled smoke?
Okay, well,
Andy's coming.
okay, so as we were talking about right now is what we're talking about was being. Sorry, Andy, I'm not getting volume.
Yeah, no worries. I think I know where it's from. Let's see. around in my shirt. Should I play it?
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay. Well, as we're going to talk about find the motivated.
Motivated.
Turning a warm lead
There we go.
into a
Perfect,
closed
thank you. Perfect.
Thanks.
No, okay.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pollack, and I'd like to share tips on how to find the motivated. What do I mean by find the motivated? Turning a warm lead into a closed client. The first tip is when you find someone, you want to ask for the business. Let's say you're at a party and your friend is pregnant. You can always say, hey, it looks like you need a bigger house. Or you're out and about and you see this big, beautiful diamond ring and not the full wedding ring. You can say, hey, it looks like you just got engaged. Congratulations. When are you buying your next house? And then I always ask, when are you ready to buy? When are you looking to move into your new house? What are those underlying tips of motivation that will tip you off to having a client that's ready to do business now versus a year from now? Tip number 2, ask for the appointment. Have a calendar or your smartphone ready to say, I have availability tomorrow at 2 or the next day at 4. Which one would work for you? Book the appointment when you meet someone who's ready to do business. Tip number 3, so now you've got the appointment, you want to pre-qualify that appointment by using scripts. Ask questions such as, have you met with the lender that I referred you to the other day? To make sure that they have their price range in mind when they're meeting with you to buy a home, and that you know they're able to sell a home or that they're motivated by a desire to have another outcome, like maybe they're relocating or they're downsizing their home. There has to be some motivation level to continue forward with the appointment. Tip number 4, use embedded commands. When you get in front of the people face-to-face at your appointment, you want to be talking embedded command language, such as when you're
Certain streets that have, or looking for landlords' names, cold calling landlords,
Mhm.
right?
Sounds very work.
Oh, you can go to Kijiji.
Right? Or if I'm looking for investors, right? Or I can go out and where else can I go out and cold call? I can door knock multi-unit condos or right, but not condos, multi-units, because sometimes the landlords live in one of the units,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
By tracking, I can hold seminars, right? So I say, hey, I'm looking for a first-time investor seminar.
Mhm.
So now I'm attracting the people that I want to be in,
Mhm.
right? Not just using it as an investor,
Yeah.
right? If I am looking for, I send out marketing materials. Just sold, multiplex here, right? Looking for, I have, or something, just sold, just listed,
Yeah.
right?
What do you, for you, what do you use? Do you use a combination?
I use a combination.
Okay.
My main business is through database.
Mhm.
My main is repeat referral is my main,
Mhm.
and then what we do is with we add people through circle prospecting. We add people through cold calling as well and door knocking as well. Just the basics.
Yeah.
Circle profile.
Right, and we do have circle prospecting. So if we have a listing in around the area, we'll door knock around that area, we'll flyer around that area, we'll call around that
What do
area.
you say when you door knock?
It depends what it is. It's typically, it's either just listed or just sold, right? So Pam, so I go, hey, thank you, my name is Tuan Tran. We're just inviting all the neighbors to an open house that we're having this Saturday it's Saturday 2 to 4. Do you happen to know of anybody who might want to move into the neighborhood? Yes? No? Thank you so much for thinking about that. Have you ever thought about making a move? No? Have you lived here for a long time? Oh, wow, fantastic. Hey, listen, with interest rates being so low, have you ever thought about investing in real estate? Would you like a little bit more information about that?
I'm going
Fantastic.
to buy through you one.
But that's my script.
Yeah.
As you can see, I can go, that's
Yeah.
a script that,
It's in.
it's already ingrained in me.
Mhm.
And that's actually also my cold calling script too. I'm a very simple person.
Mhm.
So, hey, so if it's a just list, everything that I have, it's very basic, right?
So it's just listed or just.
Yeah, I
yours?
just sold, mine is just listed, just sold, or an open house,
Okay.
right? So, hey, we just listed a property, do you have know if anybody wants to move in the neighborhood. If it's just sold, hey, listen, we just sold this great unit, this home, and we had a ton of interest in the property. So we have buyers looking in the area. Do you happen to know of anybody who might be looking to sell in the next 3 to 6 months within the area? Right? That's our script in which we use. But going back to attracting or looking for the type of buyers that you want. So if you say you want housing buyers at a certain price range,
No, doesn't
right?
have to
No.
be a certain
So
price range.
so tell me the type of buyer that you would like.
So I have worked as a relocation specialist. So I started to go through all the contacts I still have, and I stayed in touch with them. So that's basically the first group that I'm contacting.
So tell me about the people that you like working with.
What type of
Yeah.
people they are?
You said you're more of a people person, right?
Yes, so, I don't know, they have to be like me, no.
Yeah, well-
No, it's hard to describe. Open-minded people.
Okay.
If you go more with I think,
Friendly problem?
sorry?
Friendly problem? Like, just nice?
Yes, friendly, outgoing,
Interested.
yes, interested in others also. You know, people who are narrow-minded and if I go the opposite and just focus on themselves.
So are there certain
Social?
is there certain occupations that might promote those type of, where you might promote those type of people? Do you think like, if you were doing a lunch and learn at a high-powered CEO event, right? And I'm not saying that they're not nice people,
No,
but they
I've
or
worked
executive,
with
right,
some of
right.
them.
Maybe management or something like that, they might be a little bit more direct, right?
and actually, I was going to say, I like that. When
Right.
people are, you know, it's not talking, you know, oh, your shoes are really great and the scarf is, and the weather is nice. No, they come to the point because their time is valuable. And so I appreciate that in people. Also, if they are, you know, if I ask a question, what do you think of this house? What do you like? What don't? If they give me a feedback, I think you can get more
Right.
things done and you reach your goal faster.
So there's certain, so people who are a little bit more direct in doing all that stuff. So now, think about this. Now you're tailoring, you have this vision of a buyer, right? I want somebody who's a little bit more direct, right? Maybe, do you think somebody who works with children will be as direct? Maybe, maybe not, like school teachers. Are
Good
they
thing I
gonna
used to be a kindergarten teacher.
Fantastic. There's gonna be, what I'm gonna say is that there's gonna be
Yeah, yeah, no.
different, there's gonna be different personality types through every single occupation. But within there's gonna be certain commonalities, right? So let me say, if I was gonna work with accountants, let's say, right? Do you think that there's a certain type, like there's certain trends that personality traits that accountants may have? They might be a little bit more numbers oriented, and if you're not a numbers oriented person, then you may not want to work with them. So what I'm saying to you is this: is that if you are working in open houses, are going to attract a lot of different people. Right? Are open houses great places to both find and attract people? Because they have to do something to get to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're actually having to go through a door and go into a house. Now, if you're like a shy person and you're real actively looking to go for a house and you meet that person, it takes a lot of effort to go in there. So they're a little bit more qualified. Somebody who is going to go to a seminar of some sort, signing up, going there, jumping through a hoop to get to that seminar, make that time. They may be a little bit more interested. Does that make sense? So where the type of buyers that you're looking for, whether it's a personality trait or whether it's a certain demographic or like maybe it's an area. Have an idea of what you're looking for, and maybe what you want to do is target that. If you don't want to work condos, or maybe you're not working open houses at condos. Maybe what you're doing is trying to find more open houses with houses. And maybe you like, I don't like the high luxury end because I don't know it very well, or they don't turn over as much, right? So then maybe you're not looking at certain areas. Does that make sense? So, you know, when you're looking for buyers, know what you're looking for and see where you can go out and seek and find them, right? Do you blast like if I had a condo or something like that and I just said listed, right? What could I do there? What could if you're farming a condo and you're looking for first time home buyers, maybe a high rental condo, right? And then you have a townhouse, you can say, hey, just listed for a townhouse, or great for first time home buyers, right? You're not going to send that $5 million home to those condos,
Yeah.
that postcard. So target marketing with the stuff that to attract the type of buyers you're looking for, or also where you're circle prospecting, or right. Just have an idea of what you're looking for and who's going to be most interested. Right? When you are hosting a certain open house, right? Are you going to talk to everyone? Yeah, you can talk to everyone, right? But you know, most of the time when you're hosting an open house, understand that the people who are going to walk through that open house cannot afford that home. Have you ever have you hosted open houses here? One?
I also joined in only
Okay.
in January, and haven't been anywhere.
Normally,
else, so-
when you give them a price point, it's if they're holding back offers, they go, oh, that's a great price point, or they go, oh wow, that's too high, that's outside my budget. You'll hear those things, right? And so right off the bat, what should you be prepared for? So remember, now we're at an open house or we're somewhere, and buyers are coming. So the next part of it is being prepared for them.
So know the area first of all, and then ask the question, oh, well, what is it that you're looking for? Or is it this area or something smaller? I understand, you know.
Yeah.
And then find out, if possible,
Right.
or is it if they look for somebody else, and say, I'm happy to meet, to you know, discuss, show you what your options are.
So when this is what the reason with Ignite, one of the things, the best places to find buyers are open house in general. Okay, you can find buyers everywhere, right? But in general, open houses, because we've talked about that they're doing stuff right now. And when you're holding an open house, we talk about being prepared, as you were saying, right? Being able to make sure that you have the appropriate information for buyers that potentially could buy this house, and probably buyers who can't afford this home, right? Having that information, because that's going to make you look professional, right? You can add value. And we talk about marketing, right, for the open houses. So when if you're circle prospecting, if you're sending out flyers and doing all that stuff, target marketing the people. Like if you have, if we're doing a townhouse, you definitely want to make sure that you're sending that information out to maybe potentially new home buyers or move up buyers.
When you say circle prospecting,
It means like taking like a property and prospecting around that area. So if I have a house for sale, I'll door knock 100 homes around that
What
area.
about expired listings? What's your, I hear different agencies.
Yeah, so my thing is this. If you want to target expired listings, you can circle prospect. You can't go after them specifically. There's nobody who said, there's no reason why, for me, and I'm being taped here, so you can't, we can't go after expired listings, but it doesn't mean that you can't door knock if the 10 doors, like, hit a whole street. And if that expired listing is on that street and you're marketing there and it draws interest, you're just marketing. Or you
It's
just,
different than
that's
or if there's
different.
a-
knocking on that one door.
Right, knocking
but
on that one
would
door.
be-
And that's the same thing if it's still listed with that brokerage, like you can still circle knock around?
And you can circle prospect anything to promote your own listing.
Or what if you're just not promoting any particular listing, but you're
You can-
door
you
door
can-
knocking?
You can just do, yeah, you can promote your own services to any community.
Okay. Even
As
if
well.
there's, yeah. if there's-
Right, and
it's
then
not
I would,
knock on their door.
and what I would say is speak to your broker of record with that. But I'm saying from a marketing and prospecting, to general
There's
public,
really no reason why
you
you
can't
do
target, you can't target an expired itself, but you can target a neighborhood,
that. Right. You
That
can,
makes
you
sense.
can go around it.
okay? Like I said, you can target a neighborhood, you can't go after a expired in itself. Okay, and connecting with the visitors and asking for the contact information. Obviously, contact info is, we already said that follow-up is where everything's at, right? So if follow-up is where everything at, you need to have something to follow up. Some people just have emails, right? We'll just put emails. When in an open house, I actually go in there, really good script is the seller has asked me to have all the buyers sign in so they know how many people have come through.
Yeah, so
Right.
this was an open house I did for somebody
Yeah.
else. I had 2 days, and so I didn't have that much time.
Right.
And the good thing was that I had lived on that street, so that was very helpful, because I
Oh,
know
you
the
lived.
area
Right,
really well.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So you had the,
But so it was weird for me. This was my first time, right?
Mhm.
And I thought, how much can I push the people to sign in? What do I say?
so, there's a lot of different things that you can say, and different realtors have different perspective on this thing, right? Some realtors, I've been, when I was shadowing a lot of realtors, some people just say, whoever wants to sign in will sign in,
Mhm.
right? I always get everybody to sign in, because I actually do want to know how many people to come through. And so I'll say something like this, Claudia, if you wouldn't mind just signing in, our sellers have asked us to have all our buyers, so we know how many people. If you can, now point to it, can you please put your name, number, and the name of your agent if you have one? I'll fill that in, those are the most 3 important.
So do you do anything with that list?
I do, absolutely, I do.
Yeah?
Yep.
So you
So-
even this very specifically, you say.
I say that specifically, because if I don't say that specifically, because I'm giving them
They
direction,
just,
they just might put a name,
I know, yeah,
just
so I
put an
noticed
email.
that.
So I actually do that, I'll do that, and right? Or some will have an
sorry,
email.
what do you say again? Could you?
So,
The buyer's
something-
asking
oh,
me-
so I have an introduction, so there's always an introduction saying, oh, how'd you find our open house signs? Oh, fantastic, it's working, something like that, right? Listen, we have all our information in the kitchen, and you wouldn't mind just signing in. The sellers have asked us to have all our buyers sign in, so we know how many people have come through. And then as you're signing in, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the house, but can I just have your name, number, and name, phone number, and the name of the agent if you have one. And if you wish, you can put it also in email, okay? And I would say about 70-80% of the time, I have no pushback. And every once in a while, I would say,
But do you push them? You keep
no,
pushing?
no, I do ask, and then I just say, someone say, well, why do I don't want to give that number? I say, I totally understand, for the security of the home, the sellers want to know who came through the home. If you had your home sold, isn't that what you want?
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes ask that?
Yeah, I just throw it back at them. Most of the time, if you ask them 2 to 3 times just to sign in, they will sign in.
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 times.
Do you find that is
Right.
too pushy?
No. Not at all. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I want that contact info,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if you think that's too pushy up front, what you can do is try, depending on how busy your open houses are, you can ask them after the fact. And here's the thing, they're gonna wanna sign in. When I do my open houses and I have the lead come in, they want to sign in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because if I'm able to speak to them, right? I'm gonna start giving them, I'm gonna create a dialogue and bring them value.
Mm-hmm.
So if I said to you, hey, is there a store or a store that you guys like to shop at? So, out of curiosity? Anything in particular? A hobby, something that you guys like?
Hobby,
I like tennis.
Huh?
swim.
You like swimming,
Mm-hmm.
right? And is there a specific club that you had to pay money to swim?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If that swim club had a special at 90% sale off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to ask you to sign in, or are you gonna go there and sign up for it?
Yeah, you go and sign up for
Right,
it.
it's not like, oh, it's so much value that you feel compelled to do it.
Mhm. And because it's coming through the swim club or
Yeah.
whatever tennis.
And or like, is there a certain type of clothing, if they have a sale,
Mhm.
right? 10% might not accept you, if I said 70% or 80% off,
Mhm.
or your favorite clothing line, favorite food, favorite restaurant, you'd be there. You might not even be hungry, right? But you're gonna be there because they offer so much value. I want you to have the same mentality when offering your own services as well.
Mhm.
It's like, you guys are saying, I'm being pushy, right? But watch this, if I said to you, Pam, hey Pam, are you looking for a home? How long have you been looking for a home for? Just role play with me for a bit.
2 years.
2 years, wow, that's quite a long time. Is there any particular reason why you haven't bought a home in the last couple of years?
Does anybody have one?
Huh? Oh, because you have one. Okay, so are you just kind of looking for what's going on within the area?
Yeah.
Okay, are you looking to upsize or downsize? Or just decorating ideas?
Yeah, just decorating.
Okay, so right now, so for me, that's not a qualified person to say, okay, well, you look for decorating ideas. You know, one of the things that we do offer is we actually have a lot of really good contractors, home decorators on our team. Are those some of the resources that you would like to know more about?
Right.
Yeah? Listen, if you wouldn't mind signing in and around here, what we can do is we can send you a list of our top, of some of our affiliates that deal with home decorating and home design. As being in real estate,
Mhm.
right, we have those connections.
Right,
Would you mind signing in
sure.
to get that information, right?
He's so good, isn't he?
So, sorry, but do you see I'm offering a value
Yeah,
now?
right.
Don't you feel compelled? Like, hey, listen, can I get a list of those things? Yeah, just
They
sign in and I'll
almost
So
email it.
how else do you follow up? Like, so after they sign in, how do you follow up with them? Because I've never been followed up with anyone.
Fantastic. Well, watch this. So here's the thing. So right now you have to have some information in order to follow up. Now you're a lead. You're what we need to do is cultivate that lead, that follow up, right? And so hold on. But we also want to be able to find the motivated. So it's not just being able to follow up with anybody, but find the motivated. So I'm gonna watch this video real quick. Perfect.
Thanks.
No.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pollack, and I'd like to share tips on how to find the motivated. What do I mean by find the motivated? Turning a warm lead into a closed client. The first tip is when you find someone, you want to ask for the business. Let's say you're at a party and your friend is pregnant. You can always say, hey, it looks like you need a bigger house. Or you're out and about and you see this big, beautiful diamond ring and not the full wedding ring. You can say, hey, it looks like you just got engaged. Congratulations. When are you buying your next house? And then I always ask, when are you ready to buy? When are you looking to move into your new house? What are those underlying tips of motivation that will tip you off to having a client that's ready to do business now versus a year from now? Tip number 2, ask for the appointment. Have a calendar or your smartphone ready to say, I have availability tomorrow at 2 or the next day at 4. Which one would work for you? Book the appointment when you meet someone who's ready to do business. Tip number 3, so now you've got the appointment, you want to pre-qualify that appointment by using scripts. Ask questions such as, have you met with the lender that I referred you to the other day? To make sure that they have their price range in mind when they're meeting with you to buy a home, and that you know they're able to sell a home, or that they're motivated by a desire to have another outcome, like maybe they're relocating or they're downsizing their home. There has to be some motivation level to continue forward with the appointment. Tip number 4, use embedded commands. When you get in front of the people face-to-face at your appointment, you want to be talking embedded command language, such as when you're comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, then we'll sign the contract tonight. If you're using that language throughout your hour or half an hour appointment, they'll be more comfortable when they get to the end, and they'll sign that contract, and then you can move forward. The last step is you sign them up, and now it's your goal to get a referral. When you're in conversation with them, on the phone, in the car, at the closing, use questions. Who else do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate that I can call today? If you keep saying this throughout the process, you'll find yourself turning more of your current clients into referral business that will generate lots of easy sales for you. So go out there and find the motivated and have a great day.
I like that. That's a great little video. Would you get any ahas out of that video? Any insight?
Yeah, it was interesting how they turned their conversation into, oh, I see you have a new diamond ring, beautiful diamond ring. And then turning that into, when are you thinking of buying your next? You must be looking for a house soon.
So, a couple of different things. Number one, first and foremost, according to this 2014, but I don't think that two-thirds of all buyers interview one agent. I don't think that has changed all that much, right? Of buyers and sellers. So the number one thing is here. What I'm going to say is, in order to get an interview, what do you need to have to be interviewed? You need an appointment.
Yeah.
Right. So when they were talking about being at we have these buyers. We're at them at an open house. We have them at a seminar. Wherever you find them, the next step is, remember I told you to have the first qualification is to ask them to do something, right? So we've asked them to come into the open house, and if I'm going to talk specifically about a buyer. So if they're really interested, right? If you're just looking for decorating ideas, right? I would call you and say, hey, listen, do you want to sit down with a consultation? You could be like, no, because I'm not looking to buy a house. I'm just looking to decorating ideas. So there's no value there, right? Cloud, I'm going to role play with you right now and act like what do you think a real motivated buyer would sound like? Somebody who wants to buy but hasn't bought for let's say a year now. So I say, hey, listen, how long have you been looking for, Claudia?
For about a year.
A year, okay. And you haven't bought anything yet?
No, I found the right house yet.
You haven't found the right house. What is it? Have there been any homes that you've seen that you liked?
Yeah, but nothing has really sparked, there were always things that I didn't like or too big or, the garden wasn't big enough, so.
Right, and sorry, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Are you just doing this on your own or are you doing this with somebody? You're doing it by yourself?
No, just go to open houses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question right now. If I could show you where the best values in the cities are right now and based on what you're looking for, right? Would that be worth 30 minutes of your time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, right? So I guess you save you a little bit, so we're the best value in the city, and potentially you save a lot of time and money in doing so. Fantastic. So you know what we're going to do is, we worth 30 minutes of your time. Typically, does weekends or weekdays work best for you?
I'd say weekdays and, after 5.
Weekdays after 5. And are you doing this on your own or are you doing this with a partner?
with my
Oh,
partner.
fantastic. And with your husband. And would he also be able to make that appointment as well?
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to just do a quick follow-up. So I'll pencil you into my schedule right now. Because after the open house, I'm going to send you, or have my sister send you a quick email, or I'll follow up to confirm that appointment. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Okay, fantastic.
So I brought enough value, and then I asked them for an appointment. A lot of people have a problem asking for the appointment because they go, "Oh, just meet with me." Why would I want to meet with you without bringing value to that?
Yeah, for me at this stage, I don't have an issue asking for the appointment, and even I find even with friends and stuff, when you don't say, how I often say, oh, let's meet for coffee, and then nobody gets off the calendar and says, okay, when? Then it doesn't happen. The time goes by. So I see I think I'm good with this. My fear is right now, or I think, okay, now I've got the appointment, and what am I going to?
What's the next part,
what am I
right?
going to tell them?
What? Awesome. So, that is awesome. So the next thing that we need to do is, so I just want to make sure that we're going through. So you got the appointment, you have their contact, you followed up with them, right? You brought enough value to get them to the appointment, and so this, in the buying process right now, I actually think that this is the most important thing that you can ever do in a buying process, is a buyer consultation.
I have one question.
Yes.
Can we go one step back?
Yeah.
So, like at this open house,
Yes.
I got the contact information from this first woman. She walked by 10 minutes earlier, but I saw her, so I said, just come on in. And she's looking, or her sister is looking. and I got her contact, and I haven't contacted her, this was last Saturday, because my mother-in-law passed away.
I'm
and
sorry to hear
actually, I heard Pam's mother passed away, so.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
The
that.
only, the two people I hear,
Yeah.
anyway, so I haven't had time to follow up. So, but what, when I sent out an email to, you know, it was so lovely meeting you on the Saturday, thanks for coming to the open house. And then what? How can I now, what type of,
Follow
yes, the
Okay.
follow-up. So what am I going to write in that email?
up. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna answer 3 questions. There's 3 questions that you had said, and I'm gonna, and I hope I don't come off as being cold, okay? Number 1, there's your business, and then there's your life. I've had people pass away even recently as well, okay? And I want you to understand that the people who, the general public, they don't care about your life. They
No,
care about
they-
their own needs, okay? So timely follow-up, regardless of what happens to you, whether you do it or somebody else does it or a system that gets done, right? I know you said that you didn't follow up because, right? One of the reasons is because you weren't prepared or you didn't know what to do. So it's going to be about your scripts. Your scripts are actually going to be what identifies what you're going to say, right? But also make sure that you have a system that you can follow or have a standard in which you're going to follow up with, right? Are you following up right after the open house? So are you sending an email right after? Imagine you went to an open house. And then 15 minutes later, like at the end, you got a thank you so much for coming to our open house. Right? What do you think of that agent?
Think, wow.
Holy smokes!
close.
That person is right on. Regardless of I'm looking or not, that person's professional.
Wait, so they follow up with you 15 minutes after?
Like imagine that happened. There are agents
They do that.
that do just say hey, that do a mass that will use a video or something like that, and if you signed in with an email, there we go. They can with cell phones it's so easy now. So I'll be like, thank you so much for coming over to our open house, right? If there's any interest, my name is once again my name is Tuan Tran. In our home will be and my contact number is It was a pleasure for you taking the time to come in and somebody on our team will be giving you a call just to follow up for some feedback.
Oh, so
Thank
you
you
do your
so
own
much.
video?
Right, you can do it, or you can have somebody else do it, right? Or you can write or if you had a template of an email, right? So let's say I had 2 or 3 different templates, right? Why did that lady come in?
She lives in this area.
Okay, perfect. So I can call, email, or just say, hey, hey Claudia, thank you so much for coming into our open house. It was a pleasure speaking to you this past Sunday. I know you live in the area, and we're just kind of looking for market information. Here is a quick snapshot of what's happening in the market, and here are the top 10 homes that have sold in your area.
Just any information about the market.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you mean top 10 though? Like top
Like the last 10 homes, or like the homes that sold in multiple offers, or whatever it may be. If she lives in a detached home or a semi-detached home, or something about the information,
Or
right?
similar
Or
homes.
So this is how you follow up with them?
or just say, hey, listen, it's so much. I know that you just want to get an idea. You were looking to see what's happening in the market to get an idea of what's your home. Listen, I offer a free home evaluation. Right, and I will be back in the neighborhood tomorrow. Can I come up before or after the open house to come take a look at your home so that I can provide you with a free CMA?
So, so you actually follow up with the people that don't have an agent on there,
I follow up with everyone.
even if they have an agent?
I follow up with everyone because some people put down like Home Life or Remax or whatever it is. If they don't put down a name, I'm calling you. Because I don't know if they've signed something with somebody. It just kind of, I'll be like, ring, ring. So just pick up. There you go.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, can I speak to Pam, please?
Hi.
Hi, Pam. Thank you so much for taking my call. My name is Tuan Tran. We actually met at the open house this past Saturday. He came at 123 Main Street. Just kind of following up just to see if there was any interest in the home.
Should I say yes?
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just.
Okay, not at this time.
Oh no, not at this time. Okay, so are you currently looking looking for home in the area?
Just casually.
Okay, sorry, I see here in your sign, in your sign that you signed that you have an agent, but just out of curiosity, what's your agent's name? So just in case if I do hear from him, I know not to, you know, contact you directly, to give him information, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay, have you signed with him? And, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, no, maybe. And depends how deep you want to go into, right? Have you? I have actually asked this. Have you signed with them? No. Oh, this is a guy you've used in the past. Okay. You know what? If you would, I would love. If you want a second opinion, I would love to apply for the job. I actually work in the area. Obviously, I had this listing in the area. You know, would you like any off market homes in the area? I can send you. If you are, like I said, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. If you sign with somebody, right? I can't do that. Right? And then where would you get the off-market homes?
What
For
do
sale
you
by
mean with
owner?
off-market?
Not on MLS.
For sale by owner.
No. You know
Exclusive.
exclusive, exactly. You go to Broker Bay
Oh.
and you can find
Broker
stuff
Bay,
on
oh.
Yeah, something like that's a
For
strategy.
sale by owner is not offered.
That is, yeah, but that is also it could be, couldn't be. But by offering value there, right? It gets you. It depends on why you what you're trying to bring them in for, right? So a lot of buyers are when you're looking at buyers are looking for they haven't bought because they think all the prices are too expensive. So you have to bring them in to get an idea of where the market's trending, right? They are not qualified financially, or they don't believe they are. So what you can offer them is a pre-approval to get them qualified. And one of the things I always say is that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. I use that all the time.
Sorry, what's the
People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. That's a script I use all the time.
Plan to fail.
Yeah. So if you told me, hey, listen, I don't think you have the money right now.
Plan to fail?
They
They
fail.
fail.
They don't plan to fail, they fail to plan.
Right? It's a script I use all the time, right? So
How do you qualify them?
So perfect. Watch. So let's role play this. The easiest thing to do is just kind of role play this. So you haven't bought a home. How come, Pam? You don't think you have the down payment?
Right.
Okay, fantastic. And obviously you've been looking. You know what? One of the things I've worked with a lot of first-time home buyers in the past, and one of the things I know is that home buyers, they don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So something I do with the first-time home buyers is that. Would it be worth 30 minutes at a time if we came up with a plan so that we can get you qualified to actually purchase a property, so that you can actually change that question if you're going to when you're going to buy a home? Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I cannot remember all this.
Hold on. But what you have to do is that these are all scripts. Obviously, they're coming up really easy because I use them every day. Just take one or two items and just try to apply them right away. Right?
If we plan to meet, if we,
You know, would it be worth your, so my thing is would it be worth your time or worth 30 minutes of your time if, and then I fill in the blank. And whatever the problem
30
is,
minutes of your time.
yeah,
if,
and then you fill in the blank, so they normally have a problem.
but this one was, if.
It qualified, so they're not qualified. Hey, listen, would it be 30 minutes of your time if we actually sat together for a quick consultation, so I can get a better idea of your situation, and then what we can do is try to do is create a plan for you to buy a home. Now, what I just did you notice that, I'm not sure if you guys had noticed that I paused and I said buy a home? That came out naturally because I practiced my script, and those are embedded commands. Those are, meet with me,
Okay,
right?
is that what in that video? What
Yeah,
I said?
like what you meet with me, buy a home.
Embedded
Embedded commands.
commands.
Like meet with me, sign the contract,
Oh, I
buy
like
this
that. I
home.
wanted to listen to or write that down again.
right?
but I'm sure
And it's a lot, there's a lot here, guys. I'm just kind of just scratching the surface right now, just to say that there's a lot, right? And so what I would like you to do is just kind of get one or two things that you can say, hey, I like that, I'm gonna practice that, I'm gonna integrate that into my business. Okay, so now they're in here and you're at the buyer consultation. Okay, and with the buyer consultation, this is probably in the buyer consultation you have scripts, right? Sorry. Just quickly go into- right? You have scripts on the, when you're with the buyer, what's the purpose of the buyer consultation? Is to go through a needs analysis, to qualify the buyer, right? So, and one of the qualifications is having the buyer meet you, right? So somebody coming to meet you, there's motivation. That's a qualification.
Yeah.
Now, if they say, can you send me emails, or what kind of motivation is there? Not. Listen, I'm gonna be evicted, the landlord sold his house, and they're moving in 1 month. I have 2 kids. If I have to meet with you to buy a home, I'm gonna meet with you,
Yeah.
right? They're not gonna go, oh, send me an email, we don't meet, right? They're gonna do everything they can to meet with you.
Yeah.
Right, so it qualifies,
Like
it qualifies,
buyer.
right? So right off the bat, just saying, hey, listen, and not only meet with you on your turf.
Mm-hmm.
You ever have buyers say, just meet at a coffee shop?
So far, I haven't had a buyer who wants
Okay,
to
but
meet.
they will, they say, hey, listen, instead of coming to your office, can, you know,
Yeah, it's not, the commitment doesn't seem
Right.
to be there.
so one of the
So
things
is that
is,
where you usually meet, in your office?
I always be in my office. And so one of the things they say is making sure that you practice buyer consultation and objection handling. So one of the objections is not wanting to meet with you,
Which one is that?
right? So when you're qualifying them to come to meet with you at the consultation, right, they're not gonna wanna meet with you, right? Because they don't wanna meet with you if there is no purpose for it. So you have to provide them a purpose for it, right? Or a reason for it. You wanna meet with me because I'm the best, not because I said I was the best, it's because I gave you information, because I was professional in following up with you after the fact, right? Because I was very personal, because I knew the market. Does that make sense? So they want to meet with that professional, and they also want to meet with that professional who can answer the question. And the question is, I want to buy the home, how can I do that? How can you get me the best value? How can you either get me to a home or get me to a home with best value, or let me move on with my life? Right? So, you know, a lot of people who they would say, hey, listen, can we meet at a coffee shop? And do you, so how, if I said, yeah, I'm willing to meet you, what's some of the objections that you would say, Claudia?
If I'm the buyer?
And no, if you're the agent.
Oh, if I'm the
Yeah, I'm
agent?
more than happy, can we meet at a coffee shop? Or can you email me that information?
I don't know.
You would probably say, yeah, sure, right? Maybe, if you don't know.
No, I wouldn't, because I would think long and hard about it, because you said, no, don't meet them at the coffee shop.
So just go, and there's no right or wrong answer, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I think it's, there's
Well, I just
nothing,
think-
you know, I think I would say, you know, I suggest you come to the office, we will have a room, there's no distraction.
No distractions, good, that's a good one.
And we might be discussing confidential information,
Perfect,
so it would be a better setting.
What else did you say?
that's
Oh,
excellent.
Discussing this confidential information
Yeah.
about finances. Like,
That's
it's
a
not
good one.
You know?
See, you know exactly, these are some of the objection handlers, right? One of the things I always say for me is exactly that. Right? I'll say something like, hey, listen, I can absolutely say, you know what, the information can be sent through email. We could meet at a coffee shop. I work a little bit differently than most realtors.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
What I do is I'm going to respect the conversation we have and really fight fiercely to protect your privacy. So being in an open space here, I don't know who's around. And when we're talking about purchasing a home, we're going to be talking about we could be talking about very private things like finances, right? And with identity theft and everything that's happening, do you want those people around, just the general public, to know your business? No, right? So by coming into my office, number one, I'm going to protect your privacy. Number two, if there's any questions that you may have, I'm going to have all the resources that I need at my office to answer them. And last but not least, right? And some of the I'm going to say one of the things that you can say, and is for my own. I don't know you, and it's also for my own safety as well. You can use that. Right, if you want to.
don't use it.
Huh? I've never used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, listen,
Yeah,
anything that can deal with the objection handlers, right? So to get them into that gets them
you
into
know,
the
I'm
office.
an attractive woman, and if we are going to meet,
Yeah. But would you not agree that safety is a huge, important?
Yeah, but I probably would have that in the back of my mind, but I would probably go with the confidentiality.
Okay, yeah, and then, but,
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, here are different
Yeah.
options that I'm just throwing it out there
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So, just, right? And so now you're at the consultation, and,
So what are other qualifications? So obviously meeting with you.
okay, so from here,
Motivation.
meeting with me, so what it is that, so, once you meet with me, before they meet with me, are they pre-approved? Right?
We could check with the
I
financial.
don't know,
They could be.
there could be, but
If they're not, could you just say, hey, before we do a buyer consultation, one of the things I'm gonna do is, have you been pre-approved by a bank?
just to
Right,
ask.
right, just to ask, right? And they say yes or no, do you have it in writing?
They'll pre-approve for what amount of financing though?
Doesn't matter, whatever, the most they can, right? But have you been pre-approved is first. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I have. And I said, are you sure you've been pre-approved and pre-qualification? Because a lot of buyers get confused about that.
Oh,
Pre-approved or?
Versus pre-qualified.
what's the difference?
See? Oh, thanks for asking, Pam. You know, a lot of people.
Yes, I was confused, okay, what is
And
that?
thanks for asking. And actually, I say that because that's what they say to me.
I think
Because
it's,
if you don't know, how do they know? Right?
if pre-qualified comes, I think, before pre-approved.
Yeah, so what it is, Pam, thanks for asking. What happens is a lot of people will go online and go to the bank and they say, hey, I want to buy a $500,000 home. And the bank says, yes, you can, or the computer or the system will spit out a price range in which you can do this. And for us, what I want to do is that they haven't asked for any credit reports, they haven't had any verifications. Right? In order to lock in the rates for that you're looking to have, because a pre-approval has 4 real big benefits for you. Number 1, gives you a definitive price range in which you can work from. Number 2, if there's any issues with your credit or credit history that you may or may not know of, we're going to know up front that can
Sorry, are
be
we talking about pre-approval?
pre-approval.
Okay, pre-approval does, okay, so what was it?
I always say there's 4 benefits. Number 1, it gives you the price range, a definitive price range you wish to work from, no guessing. Number 2, it uncovers any issues that you may have with your credit that you may or may not know of. Number 3, it locks in the rate, a rate for you, and if rates go down, you get the lower of the 2. If rates go up, you're fixed. And number 4, it makes you a competitive buyer. I'll give you, during negotiation, it makes you a cash buyer.
Say the last one again?
It makes you a cash buyer. So by having a pre-approval,
It makes you a cash buyer,
buyer.
yes,
Because
because it's
you can
all
go- you can
there.
go- you can
It's
go
like
in
the
firm,
cash is
you
on
can-
the
yeah.
table. Mhm.
okay?
That's the pre-approval.
That's a
Okay,
pre-approval.
what's the pre-qualified?
So the pre-qualify is no, the pre-approval, that's the benefit of the pre-approval.
Yeah,
The pre-approval is, it verifies all the information that is correct. That's why it's been pre-approved.
right, pre-approved. What's
Pre-qualify is just giving you a range, an estimate range based on the information that you've given, but nothing's been verified.
So
Does that make
estimated range of,
Your purchase range,
but nothing's been verified.
alright? So number 1, but you're asking about like qualifying a buyer, so have they been pre-approved, right? So maybe before you meet any buyer, one of the things that you can do is say, hey, listen, go get a pre-approval before we meet. Or after during the consultation, after we meet, the next step is to get a pre-approval before we even look at houses. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So if they go out and get a pre-approval and did that extra step to do that, are they a little bit more serious?
Mhm.
Right? Also, during the needs analysis is to make sure, is to qualify them on motivation.
Mhm.
So as we were talking about finding them motivated, right? Why are you making this move? Well, I just want to see if I can get what the market has to offer,
Mhm.
right? Well, my work is relocating, is changing office. We were going from Scarborough to Mississauga,
Mhm.
right? My son is leaving middle school and is going to a high school. I want it next year, and I need to be in that area next year. We just had triplets, and we live in a 1-bedroom, 400 square foot condo. That's motivation, right?
That's a
So what is
jackpot.
causing this move?
Huh?
What is causing this move?
That's what's causing the move, right?
Instigating the move.
So, there's the three perfect questions, right? What would the perfect timing look like? Right, what would the perfect home be like, or a perfect area, and what would be the perfect area be, scenario, right?
What was the third one, the third benefit? It locks in rates. the
So it
rate
locks in the
and-
interest rate, right? So if interest rates go down, you get the better two. If they go up, you're locked in.
Okay, if it goes down, you get the better one.
Okay, so that's where we're at right now. So when you're looking for, you're pre-approving, and so now, so here's and you're looking for, you want to find the ideal home.
Needs analysis. The systematic process of collecting information about needs, wants, and desires that is used to establish and define goals. Step 2 of the buyer consultation is the needs analysis. Only when you understand what is ultimately important to your customers can you deliver it. Many agents ask their clients, "What do you want in a house?" and stop there. They don't realize the answer to that question isn't the same as "What do you need?" or "What's important to you?" Determining your customer's core wants, needs, and values is a process. Draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper and write needs on the left and wants on the right, and use it to track their needs and wants as you go through this process. At this point, you will have a clear understanding of what buyers need versus what they want, if you are not done. Now, you want to drill down and uncover their values by finding out why they need and want what they do.
This is an important
Use
one.
this question. What about blank is important to you? Let's see how it works. Say your buyer has told you that they want or need a large yard. You say,
But what's about a large yard that's important to you?
your buyer says, "I like to garden." You ask,
You like gardening, and what's important about gardening?
your buyer says, "I like to spend time outdoors. It helps me relax." You ask,
Makes you feel relaxed, and what's important about being relaxed?
your buyer says, "When I'm relaxed, I can spend more quality time with my wife." Bullseye. A large yard equals family. At this point, you have uncovered a value. You can now look for other ways it applies to your buyer.
A large yard is important because it allows you to spend quality time with your wife, correct? So what else about your new home would be important to you in terms of spending more time with your wife?
Now,
But is this, that's sort of what you would do also, like the three times basically,
Yeah.
ask what is important about a garden, what is important about gardening, what is
You can-
important.
you can go, well,
I mean, you can't go, it
Yeah.
has to be a more natural flow, I guess.
yes,
A little bit.
well, yes and no.
Systematic process of collecting information.
What I will say is this, is that it's about digging, the main thing there is about digging deeper,
Mhm.
right?
What else is important to you in a house?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, you know,
How do you qualify if it's a need or a want? Because it's,
so they're really simple,
They-
right?
Don't they sort of do
That's
that?
a want.
No,
That would
so
be a
a want
want.
would be like, okay, so if you tell me, hey, listen, okay, I'm gonna try to do this right now. So Pam, so you said that you want a 3-bedroom home, right? You need a 3-bedroom home.
yes.
Does that have to be all on the top floor,
No.
right? Okay, so if we were to look at homes that said two bedrooms and there was one in the basement, that
I don't
would,
want one in the basement.
you don't want in the basement? Why don't you want one in the basement?
Because I know someone that got caught in a fire in the basement.
Okay, so one of the things is you know somebody, and so there's a fear of safety, right? Who's that third that third basement, that third bedroom
dog.
for? The dog, huh?
Yeah,
Excuse me?
the dog.
The dog. Okay, so right now, and why is it important for the dog to be upstairs with you and your family right now?
Just, it's important to the dog.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we saw the most ideal home, perfect size, perfect location, perfect price point, it was a 3-bedroom, but 2 was upstairs and 1 was downstairs, you would not buy because that would be a deal breaker,
Right.
not having a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a need,
Okay,
not a want.
so you would write that down. You would
So the
make
dog
that
is-
list and
yeah.
you write down the
So right
ones
now,
that
so
you
what we
need.
need to do, make sure is that we need to make sure that we have a space for the dog so that it feels part and parcel of the family, because it is part and parcel of that family, right?
Or could it be a den?
right?
The
Could it be a
third
den,
bedroom
could
could
it
be
be
a
a den, doing all that stuff, yes.
So to come up with other alternatives that they're not
Get
quite
deeping
stuck
in,
with the-
right, yeah. So.
Because if it's for a dog, yes, it could be a den probably.
A deal breaker, they're deal breakers, that's a need.
Mhm.
Everything else is perfect, I don't do this, it's a deal breaker. A want is, I want a living room and a family room. But as long as I have at least one common area space for the family to congregate,
Mhm.
then that's more of a want, right? To have two spaces. But a need would be, listen, I have a house that has a living room but no family room. And the reason I'm moving is because we need a little bit more space, so I actually need both. I wouldn't make a move unless I had that.
Yeah. That's a need.
That's a need. So, with the buyer consultation is really about, number one, setting the stage for why everything's happening, and then you to figure out to get to know your client, their personalities, right? And then and to see what's happening in the consultation. And one of the most important things is the needs analysis. The other thing is being able to qualify. The other thing is being able to qualify your clients on needs and wants, but also an ability to purchase, right? And lastly, that motivation, right? So so on motivation, so seeing where they're at. Now, last but not least, and they don't talk about it in here, is how to, the challenge in Toronto is aligning clients' expectation with what's happening in the market. Okay? So our job as realtors isn't just to say, hey, listen, to find them what they want. They can as easily find what they want on their own, to be honest with you. The internet has changed everything, has it not? So our roles right now, so where's our value? Is our value just to find a property? No, our value isn't just to know where to look for the property. Because if I have a client who lives in a certain area, they've lived there for 20 years, they might know a little bit more about that area more than me. If I'm just kind of a generalist. Right, so they want to be in that area, they're going to know about that area. So one of the things for us is to help interpret the value of the homes, right? It's not just about finding the home, but helping the value of the home or how that applies to them, right? The benefits of each home, the drawbacks of each home, to evaluate the home in itself.
So evaluate the value.
Evaluate the home and also evaluate the market.
Great. The home.
And the market. So it's not just say, hey, this is where I'm gonna find you the home. I'm gonna find you the home and I'm gonna help you interpret what's happening in the market, where it's at, to secure that home. So if they wanna buy a home in the area, who here, do you think that finding a home could be difficult? You find a buyer, I'll give you an example. Tomorrow I'm doing a buyer revisit for a client that I just sold last month. And we sold them this home. They switched realtors, to be honest with you. They worked 2 years with a realtor, and then they, for 2 years, and they worked literally 3 days with me and found them home. Okay, hold on. They put 15 offers with that realtor. 15, crazy.
That's crazy.
They put one offer with me. Okay, now,
They have a lot of experience.
They may have
So
had-
at this point, they figured out what they really want, but the realtor couldn't show that to them.
That's actually not true. In
No.
this case, I'm going to show you. So here's a value that you can bring, right? They knew exactly what they want. They made 15 offers, so they knew exactly what they want 15 times. Did they not?
Yeah.
And they went over asking significantly. Actually, they did a pretty good job, right?
It's that, yeah,
Hold on.
something must have gone wrong.
Hold on. So what was happening there is that the realtor didn't know the market. They were competing in Rochesville, and the realtor was Mississauga. So he wasn't aggressive enough to get them the home or evaluate the property accordingly. So so the realtor would evaluate based on the last sold, and couldn't evaluate where the next projected home was going to be for 2 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one of the values is also aligning them, teaching them about, when I say teaching them about the market. Are there certain markets right now that have multiple offers? Still? Yes.
Yeah.
All multiple offers done the same?
So if there
Are all multiple offers done the same?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
If you go multiple offer, I'll give you an example myself. We had two multiple, I did just, this past month, we had a couple homes listed. I had one that had 31 offers on it in Scarborough, right? Over half of those offers were conditional, were at list, doing all that stuff. Because that's what the marketplace was there for. So I know if I was in that marketplace, it's not gonna be aggressive multiple offers. Whereas in Toronto, I can underlist by 200,000, and I know that the realtors will bring up that value. Does that make sense?
Probably no
So I can be less aggressive out maybe in the suburbs
conditions, yeah.
with conditions and potentially still win. And in Toronto, even with one offer, I could be off by
Don't
200
put the
grand,
conditions.
right? So helping them, being able to not just know the area, find the house, but securing the house.
So you can see like past offers and if they had conditions or not.
So one of the things, how do I line so one of the things I do is tell a lot during the buyer consultation is align their expectations. And
show them
so
comparisons.
I do. I show them what they might be looking for. I actually go online with them and show this is how many's on the market. This is how many within their price. This is what's listed in their price point, and this is what they've sold for over the past. So who does the heavy lifting? Do I, or does the market do it? The market does it. So one of the things I would say during the buyer consultation is always making
Oh, I
sure,
know what you mean with that question now, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we have about 10 minutes left, right, ish, in the class before you have to go, and I'll stay back for you, Pam, absolutely. But I want to leave you. This is kind of my bonus, okay? And I learned this about I want to say about 10 or 15 years ago at a family reunion. That's our convention that we had, and I went to a buyer class, and I've been using this ever since. So. So I always say when you're looking to buy a property, there's only 3 things that you can kind of control, right? And I'll ask you, what are they? And then, so I'll just
What you can control.
what you can't control. So number 1 is your budget. Number 2 is the location. Number 3 is the house itself, okay? And then, so when I say house, what do I mean? I mean size. I mean type. I mean the condition of the home. So, am I looking for a D type is detached, 2,000 square foot home that's fully renovated, right? When I'm talking about location, I'm talking about schools. I'm talking about shopping. I'm talking about transit. I'm talking about being in niche markets, right? And then fixed versus flexible. Having a fixed or flexible budget. All right? So I say to you, hey, listen, Pam, tell me what you're looking for. What's your budget? Just throw a number.
500,000
500,000. And what kind of home would you like to buy with that 500,000?
bungalow.
A bungalow, and do you want it to be fully? Do you want to do any work or no?
No.
So you want to be no work, a finished bungalow, 500,000. And where would you like to buy that bungalow?
Toronto.
In Toronto. Okay, perfect. That's fine. No, that's perfect. So she wants to buy in Toronto.
So do you do this with the people?
Yeah, I do this. That's all I
That's
said.
the
Well, and
circle?
then they have 500,000, and you want to buy a bungalow. Oh, no work. Right? I said, well, guess what, Pam? What I'm going to do is I don't make the market. I only interpret it. Okay? So I want you to understand that at maximum you can only control you have 2/3 of the pie. Right? So I'll go to MLS and I'll say, hey, listen. So here's Toronto. Right? There's 2,200 homes in Toronto for sale. Fantastic. Bungalow. Boom. of the bungalow, there's 800, of the 2,200 homes, there are 700 bungalows, right? And then I put in 500,000, I put in 500,000, and it goes to zero. See, Pam, what you, do you know what just happened there, Pam? Alright, so you can only, even, I used to use, even Bill Gates can't control all three. If Bill Gates says, I want the most renovated home in Silicon Valley, could he buy it for $100,000? No. Bill Gates says, I want the best home in Silicon Valley. He asks, how much do I have to pay? So do you have flexibility to, so I would go, the bungalows in Toronto are ranging between 800,000 in some of the more transitioning areas to $2 million,
So what do you mean you only have, you can control two, which two?
right? Hold on, any two. So what the question you have to ask is, if you want a certain type of home in Toronto, you have to ask, do I have the budget for it? If you say, I'm only working on a $500,000 budget and I want a bungalow, where can I find it? If you say, I absolutely need to be in Toronto, I only have $500,000, what can I get for it? So at 500,000 in Toronto, you might be able to get a one-bed studio or a one-bedroom condo in the city. Okay, but if you are really looking for a bungalow at $500,000, what we can do is bring you out to Peterborough.
So when you say
But-
dollar is fixed,
But if you really want to have that bungalow in Toronto, can you move do you have the flexibility or find the money to go up to about $1.2 million?
So you play around basically with
Right.
it. There are always the two parts that you can control.
That's my, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
That's
So,
what you
but
do.
it's
That's
good-
what I do.
It's good, the visible, I
Right.
think, for the people
Oh.
to have that,
so
right?
when,
Yeah.
so now I'm showing the home, and that's a totally different class, and I don't want to interfere with that class.
yeah,
But what I'm going to say is by setting the tone here and showing them what to expect is going to make it easier for you to show.
fixed versus flexible though. Do you
Fixed
mean
versus like in the
Are
budget.
they, okay, their budget.
So they've been pre-approved for 500,000. Were they really pre-approved for 500, or was that what they asked to be pre-approved for? Asked them, was that their maximum budget? They said, no. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a buyer who says, I just want to spend $1 million. I don't want to go more. But they can afford to go over. They can be qualified. But they went to the bank, and the bank only gave $1 million because that's what they requested
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Right? To see if there's any room. Do they have a rich uncle, a rich parent, somebody, or somebody who's just willing to give them to make up the difference? Do they have a partner that wants to go in there?
So what you're saying in this particular buyer consultation, you're looking for their needs and wants, you're doing this thing, you're looking for their motivation, their pre-approval, and,
And then, yeah, and there's two more things. So I always go, for me, it doesn't actually go in here, but I teach them a little, I do educate them a little bit about what's happening in the market. That's while doing the needs analysis, right? I never leave an appointment with knowing what the next steps are going to be. So when you say, hey, listen, and I always ask for the business. So you're always asking for, so one of the things is, listen, just like I asked for the appointment, right, the buyer to come sit with me with the buyer consult. After the buyer consult, I normally ask them, so Pam, so how'd you find that buyer consult? Was that of use for you? Right? And do you believe that I can help you find the home you're looking for? They'll say yes, fantastic. All we need to do is start working together. Sign
How
here.
did you find the buyer consultation?
Right, I just say, I always ask if the buyer consult was of benefit, or what you get out of it.
But what did you get out of it?
Yeah. I do ask them, so,
Yeah,
okay,
right?
No, I think, yeah, it's
So to really understand, or was there any questions that I should have asked that I didn't ask, or anything that I left out that you want to know that I didn't answer?
so motivation, you're just assessing that, or are you actually asking them questions?
I ask questions around motivation all the time.
Like,
So one of the things, before even getting to the appointment, is what's predicating this move? How long have you been thinking about making this move? Why are you making this move right now? What's the importance about making this move right now?
what do you do Like last night, somebody found out I play some sport with her, that I'm a realtor now.
Okay.
And she said, oh, I have a question for you.
Fantastic.
That's what I said, and she said, oh, we have this problem with the water issue, and I'm always thinking of moving to another area, but we need to have this fixed, and my husband wants to keep the siding, the old one, put it back on. I would like to change it.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Perfect. So, you know what, if you-
So,
So Claudia, listen, first of all, thank you so much for entrusting that information with me and asking me that question. Before I even ask that question, what you're looking to do to the home, what you're gonna do is also gonna be predicated what you wanna do after, right? So you said that you're looking to move into to a different home. Is that just so that you don't have to deal with the situation right now?
yeah, so she said she prefers to be closer to the subway and restaurants and stores.
Okay, so you want,
The whole motivation and the house,
so you want to be a little bit closer for a little bit more convenience. How long have you lived here?
10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Oh, fantastic. And is there any, and what's important about living closer to the shops and for you?
The convenience, that I don't have to walk, that I can walk to the stores.
So right now you have to drive to the stores?
Yes,
Okay,
because
so there's
everything's too far. It's a wonderful neighborhood and I love the neighbors.
And obviously, what's the importance about being able to walk rather than drive? Is it about the same time or?
It's just I'm enjoying it more. I mean, it's more accessible.
So
It's not always a big production I'm not forced to get into the car every time.
So what I hear you say is that you would love to move to a different area right now so that you can have a better quality of life. And part and parcel of that quality of life is being able to save time and energy by walking to everything that's convenient for you. Is that correct? Wow, that's
I'm
huge.
not sure about my husband, if he wants to do the same.
Right.
See, that's what I mean in this.
So let me ask you a question. If it's okay with your husband, would it be okay with you so that I can come and give you an evaluation of your home right now, just to see what the possibilities are, see why he wants to stay there, and what I can do is bring different options to you to say if you were to move, this is what that would kind of look like in this scenario. Right, and that will also help dictate if you're going to do temporarily fix it or permanently fix that issue. Because obviously you've been living in it for a few years right now.
Yeah.
Right, and also by allowing me to see the home, I can also give you other tips and tricks on how to enhance that the value of your home. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Does weekends or weekdays work best for you?
Weekends. So, yeah.
When were you talking to her about
So
that? Like that would be before this?
No, she was just asking you a specific
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah, this French yesterday, and so she basically asked me, do you think it will improve the value of the house to improve the curb appeal?
Oh, the answer is always yes,
Yes.
but it depends on what, how much it's going to cost and doing all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay, no problem.
Tuan, thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm not going to be here to end it, so thank you.
Okay, no problem. That's basically we've basically gone through the entire thing, but what I'm going to do is, because this class was supposed to go until 3:30, I'm going to stay to answer any questions that you have.
Oh, okay, well, I don't really have anything per se, but just like, there's a package that we talked about with forms, so I need to know what we bring, like, so
So I
you would want to bring this person to sign.
So normally
Right?
with a buyer consultation, I send out a buyer consultation guide.
Oh, you send out a buyer consultation
I have a
first?
buyer consultation guide. You don't have to send it out beforehand. You can have it with you. I have both a hard copy and a digital copy. I have a buyer's package with me, and in the buyer's package has all the agency forms in there. It has a contact sheet in there, and it has a needs and wants analysis in there.
Okay, and did you create that, or?
Yeah, they're all online. You can all, if you go to KW Connect on there, you can use my first buyer consultation guide. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had like escrow stuff in it, and I couldn't even explain it, but I had something there. So like There's everything there. Just make sure it's more Canadian.
What I wanna do is, before I go out, I wanna have a bunch of packages, like folders, of what I need to take with me.
Just speak
Ahead of
to,
time.
speak
And
to,
then that's information that goes into MLS eventually, right?
yeah, speak to your productivity coach or speak to your team leader, or I can speak to
Productivity
you.
coach?
Yeah, and I can, and like I said, I'm gonna stay here to answer any
Who is
questions.
the
that you-
productivity coach here?
I don't know.
What do they do?
I don't belong to this office. I
What do they
apologize.
do with productivity coach? Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
Maybe,
For now, I'm
just
sticking
to talk to
Philip.
your, talk to your team leader.
Philip.
Talk to your
Alright,
team leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Has been.
Can I ask, before you leave, I have one question for
Yes.
you. What's one thing that you got out of this course that you're gonna utilize and integrate in your business? What's the thing you like best? Was it a script? Was it the concept?
Today?
Mhm.
I just like the fact that I know more of what to do. I just need to get that package, the fire conservation guide.
I think the scripts,
Yeah.
you know, the.
Is there one
Because
specific? Is there one specific script? And the reason I ask for this is because a lot of people leave my class and say, "Oh, I love
I think I like
everything."
this one.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
So to use
I
it,
like
steal
this.
it.
I like
I like
this.
all
Take
I
it.
love that because it's the visual, and for me, it's often the visual too. It's not
Perfect.
just because it's more.
What,
It's a
I
hands-on,
like-
right? You move your hands.
I like the fact that you went over a lot of stuff like motivation, like how you have to ask questions.
Yep.
The pre-approval,
Thank you
like
so
the
much.
financial pre-approval, the needs and the wants, and then finally doing that.
Yeah.
But I need to get my hands on all this,
Yeah.
so I
On the
have it.
step-by-step.
So
Did
I'll-
you make notes, Ben?
So I'm gonna
Have a
I'll
great
tell you
weekend.
what
Yeah, you too.
I'll tell you what I have. So what kind of packages are you looking for?
I want a package
So
where I have this information, and then I want also a package of, like, the checklist that will go into MLS.
I think the office would have that for you,
Yeah.
because I
I
know
don't
our
think they
office.
have the package
Huh?
done. I don't know if they have the package.
I'll just add some of the back, but on the buyer package, that's what I would have. I have a buyer's guide, and in that buyer's guide, it has like, talks a little bit about the process. It talks about the difference between pre-approval and pre-qualification.
Okay.
It has a little bit of information on financing, like the difference between pre-approval and pre-qualification, having a deposit ready.
Okay. So you send that out ahead of time.
I have a.
But do you also have a checklist that you have to fill out that would go into MLS eventually?
Maybe. I apologize. That question is. I have an admin team that has a checklist.
Oh,
That,
in the bin team?
Yeah.
So they preload, they broker load it?
For listings.
Yeah.
For listings, no. There's a checklist for listings.
No, I mean like, no, yeah, I guess I was talking about listings there. When I say broker load, that would be for
Yeah.
listing.
Yeah.
But even for, you're asking questions of the buyer.
There's a buyer qual. If you go on to kw.com, there's a buyer. You can even look at bold. If somebody here has a bold binder, there are buyer
How do you spell that? Bold?
BOLD.
Oh, okay.
Business Objective Life by Design. That's what it
Okay.
stands for.
Okay.
There are buyer questionnaires, qualification questionnaires.
But there should be something already done.
Maybe.
Isn't there?
I'm not sure. Each office has their own,
Okay.
doing all that stuff.
I'll
So I
find
want
out.
to be able to stuff anyway. So.
But in this particular buyer consultation, you would ask them for them to sign
I
buyer.
a buyer rep. Yeah.
Buyer
Normally, if I
rep.
bring enough value to them, I say all we need to do right now is to work together. It's just
Okay.
signed. I'll go through the agency forms. So for me, I always say, last but not least, I'll say, hey Pam, have you ever heard the word agency before as it pertains to real estate? And they'll say no. I say, so one of the things that we have to do ethically is tell you about the different types of relationships that we have
Oh, okay.
with that you can have with a realtor. And I'll
Oh.
go through all four. And I
Uh-huh.
said 100% of my clients work with me signing up buyer representation. Isn't that true? 100, because if they don't sign a BRA, they're not a client, they're a customer.
Mhm.
It is a little bit of play on words, but that's what I say.
100%
Of my clients sign a buyer representation agreement.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is absolutely right, yeah.
Because isn't that, I know it's a little bit of a play on
Yeah,
words,
okay.
and
It's true. So all we have to do is do that. And then what forms do you bring with you?
I bring, working with a realtor, I bring a FinTrack form, I bring a buyer rep, I buy 2 buyer reps, one for them, one for me.
Oh, they have to sign too.
Right, I just so I have a copy, sometimes the original, but I also buy a rep, FinTrack, working with a realtor, buyer consultation guide,
If you didn't already send it.
right, a lead sheet, so like a contact lead sheet that I have in the binder. I have I'm just going through my cancellation guarantee in there. I have a notepad with needs and wants of buyers and buyer unit.
You made that up? No.
Yeah, just it's basically what they have, needs and wants,
Okay.
right? You know.
A notepad?
Yeah,
It's your own thing?
yeah. I just write down, just take
Okay.
notes, right?
What is okay, so consultation guarantee is something that the office should have, and what's a lead sheet? What do you mean by that?
So like the contact sheet, so just to have their contacts and then kind of fill all that
Okay.
stuff in
Do
there.
we have generally the offices have that?
I don't think the offices do, but the different teams might, or different agents might.
Okay.
It's very simple, it's just you can create it yourself on an Excel file, you know, it's name, number, occupation, hobbies, you know, the spouse's name, stuff like that, email,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Perfect, thank you.
And we're